That transition from being a soldier to being a mom wasn't as easy as I wanted. I wanted to step back in and I'm mom, I'm here, I'm back, and have everything normal. It wasn't. I raised my hand and I swore an oath to my country to defend it. And I did it to the best of my ability. And I would go back, and there's probably a few things I would change, but I would do it again. I would still sign that contract at 17.
I am so proud of her for everything that she did and overcoming the struggles of when she came back and still dealing with her health issues that she's got going on now. Just to see her continue to fight it makes me want to be like her when I grow up.
I wouldn't be the person I am right now without her. She means the world to me.
Hi, I'm Mary Levey, and I'm a proud U.S Army veteran. I served in all 3 Army branches or components. I did 4 years in active duty. I did about 6 years in the Army Reserves and 3 in the Michigan National Guard. I have a strong history, like family history with the military, but after my junior year in high school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wanted to get away from my hometown and really explore and see what was out there. And I had different conversations and decided that I wanted to be a cook in the Army. I was at Fort Bragg, South Carolina. I was pregnant with Kayla at 19. She was born when I was 20, and I became a single mom. It was not without its challenges, but I did my best to not let my role as a single mom affect my job.
So I was born on Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was one of the first 100 babies born in the new hospital there. My mom likes reminding me of that all the time. Then we moved to Fort Stewart, Georgia, and then Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. We moved in with my grandparents for a while in Elsie, Michigan, and then we moved to Fort Irwin, California, and then Fort Knox, Kentucky.
My first husband deployed. He was deploying to Afghanistan, and I was already pregnant for Walker. Walker was born in July of 2004, and then I was home. I was here with my parents. I also had my daughter. On the end of February of 2005, I was given orders to deploy to Iraq with a unit out of Ohio. And when he came back, he wasn't the same person. He did lose his battle with PTSD. We talk about veteran suicides, but we don't talk about the alcohol and drug abuse and those other things that our veterans are losing their battle with.
Makes me feel like the country kind of betrayed him, because the way it was portrayed to me, the story, was that he kind of got denied help. And if he had that help, maybe he'd still be here. Maybe I would have met him, because I never met my father.
My first day that I was back home, at my parents' home, with Walker, and Kayla was in school, Walker wanted nothing to do with me. And that was the hardest thing. So it was middle of the day, I took him to daycare. And that day I made a call. I used Army One Stop, and I called and I set myself up to meet with a counselor, because I needed to figure out how to be mom and not soldier.
I know in the early 2000s, PTSD wasn't necessarily recognized or wasn't dealt with the way it is now. And I wish those resources were available to my dad, and maybe he'd still be here. And maybe it could have made things easier for my mom adjusting back to civilian life when she came back from deployment.
She's definitely a very strong person. Definitely makes me feel proud of her. I don't know, we've had a tough road and we've got through it.
When my third son was born, we were in California, and my second husband left to go to Korea 3 weeks after he was born for a year. My time in the service made me the strong person I am. Not that I wouldn't be. I was raised by a very, very strong family, but it changed my outlook on life, outlook on people, outlook on society. It did a lot for me there. It's really hard to explain that, because I have had some struggles with the VA. I've had some struggles, with things that happened while I was in, but I still would do it again.